Right, we are back. We're going to be doing some blooms. I haven't done any blooms for a little while. We're not going to be using pigment pastes this time. We're just going to be using the Resin liquid pigment dyes. And we have a white in there. Some of these aren't opaque, so I might need to add white to them, but we'll just see as we go along. But we're going to do this in 5 easy steps so that anyone can do this. So the first step we need to do is mix our resin. We are using the collab resin today. And then the second part is weighting. Now once you have your resin mixed, I've got quite a bit in here because I've got another piece on the side. But the key to this is weighting. Let me put my glove on, I forgot to put my gloves on. The key to this is weighting. The resin needs to warm but not get too hot. And you don't want to keep your eye off the ball because you don't want your resin flash curing. So resin cures quicker if it's deeper, which is why you sometimes get flash curing. So each resin has a different working depth. So this is really pushing the depth of my resin that I'm using. So this is going to heat quicker. So ordinarily when I've done this before, it's been around 15 minutes after fully mixed that I have to wait really for it to reach the temperature. And from what I understand how this works, I've never really looked into the science of it, but when your resin is warm after the wait and you pour it into your moulds, what's happening is it's cooling as you've poured it. So what it's doing is it's contracting. This is what I think anyway. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But the key to the bloom is the resin cooling as you've poured it into a shallow mould. Now again, I could be 100%, I could be totally wrong, but that's my theory. You should really know these things before you teach really, but you know, I like to learn as I go. So like I said, we're going to do this in 5 easy steps. Step 1, mix. Step 2, we wait. Step 3, we mix our colours. Step 4, we pour. And then 5, we draw in our details. I didn't want to put step 6 in as demold because that's just silly. So I'm going to finish mixing and then we'll start. Right, so my resin is fully mixed. I'm now going to keep an eye on that. Just come and give it a stir every couple of minutes or so. Just keep checking it just to make sure it's not getting too hot. And now is a good time, whilst we're waiting for that, is to just get things prepared really. So you want your piping bags ready, you want a cup to stand them in, and just prepare those so we're ready to go. Right, I'll see you once I'm ready. Right, so we're almost ready. I've picked out some of my colours I'm going to be using. We've got the purple, we've got purplish red, we've got the pink, the rose red, a yellow, golden yellow, and our white. Now I've never tried it with dyes before, but I think it will work. And I've got my mixing cups. The collab resin comes with lots of these handy little cups. I've got my cup and I've got a few piping bags. And another tip is just put your piping bag into the cup, fold down the sides and then pull it really quickly and tight, and that will create a vacuum, just making it easier to pour our colours into the bag. I've got my paper clips for the twist of the bag and to seal it. I've got my scissors at the ready to snip our bag. Right, a couple of minutes and we'll start mixing. Right, my resin is just about there, but the key to this to get the perfect bloom is to mix our colours first. Don't pour the resin into the moulds yet. We need to kind of, because if we pour the resin into the moulds now, it's going to start contracting. And we're going to miss that kind of window of opportunity to get that perfect bloom. So what we're going to do first is mix our colours and leave the resin just to warm up a little bit more in our mixing cup. What I'll do is I'll show you one just to save on time, and then I'll mix the others off camera and tell you if I've added white to them to make them opaque. So we're going to start off with a colour that hopefully I have already opened, which is the pink. So we're just going to add a few drops and just see how vibrant it is once we've mixed. You can see it's not opaque, so we need to add that white to that mix, and then we could always add more pink afterwards just to see, kind of get it to how you want it to look. But we definitely don't want the colour to be transparent. See how that is now opaque. So it's very similar to using pigment pastes, but I think with this we've got less risk of blobbing, because the pigment pastes are quite heavily pigmented. I'm going to go in with a couple more drops of pink, I think. And then, as I said, I'll mix the others off camera and get all of my bags ready so that I'm not boring you. I think one more drop of white just to make that a little bit more opaque. 2. Just make sure there's no streaks. And once that is ready, we just pour that into our bag. Take it out. Give it a good twist, not too tight because you don't want the bag to split. And then we snip off our excess. I'm just hoping this is a much easier way for people to try and do the flower bloom. Whether you're new to this or you've just not had much success, hopefully this is another alternative. And we're just going to stand that up in another cup. Right, I'm going to mix the others and we'll be back. Right, hold on, it's too much noise. That's better. Now all our colours are mixed up. What I did every now and then is just gave the resin a quick stir. So our colours are already mixed. Now we just need to pour into our moulds. I'll just give them a quick spray if I've got any left. Get another bottle of that. Right, so yeah, I just wanted to keep it really short and sweet, this one. Just sorry about the background noise. Somebody is doing some sanding in their garden. Yeah, so I just wanted to keep it short and sweet. Just so you can see the process and try and simplify it as well. See, some channels, what they do is they wait longer. They take temperature checks, etc. I mean, it can help, but it's not really necessary. I haven't got enough for my side project, but that's fine. These are going to be fairly shallow. I might have to go in with a top up afterwards. Just get out every last drip. It really is starting to thicken up now. This one's going to be a really shallow one. But it's fine. Right, so quick bubble check. Just go around, make sure there's no bubbles in the edges. I'll do that off camera and come back. There's a few more, but I'm not that fussed. Just leave it be. So we're going to start with our red. Just go round in that spiral and go over it again if you like. Really, I'm sorry about that noise. Hopefully you can't hear it. Where's my white? We're going with a bit of white on this one as well. I'm only snipping a small amount off the tip of the bag as well. I'll just go over the top. And then hopefully by the time we finish the last one, this one should have fanned some amount. He hopes. Right, that is that one. Let's go with a combo. I think we'll go with the purple and the rose red. So we'll go with the rose red first. Lock my focus for you. Could have added maybe a little bit more of the purple and the white to this, but we're committed now. There's no going back. And now with, sorry, I meant rose red, not purple. This is the purple. That noise is really annoying me. You can already see that one on the right is beginning to fan out. Let's go with some pink. I think I've mixed up a bit too much colour in the piping bags, so I'm going to have to pour these into a different mould. Helps if you get it in the mould as well and not on the side of the mould. I'm not sure whether to risk it and go with a yellow on this. What would go well with that pink? I think I'm going to go with some purplish red instead. Just to break it up a little bit. And then the only colour we haven't tried yet is the yellow. Get that ready. My camera arm doesn't want to go all the way over. So sticking with that spiral, we could do different patterns. I'm just trying to keep it fairly simple. We can change it up with the design. You can also do what others do as well and put some glitter in the centre. I've just chosen not to do that today. We're just going to go with some more white in this one. And then we've used all of the colours that we mixed. Massive shout out to my channel members. Thank you very much for signing up. That link is in the description box below alongside all of the products that I'm using today. Thank you to anyone who hits that sub button, helping my channel grow. And thank you to anyone who sent a super thanks or bought me a coffee. Your names will be in the community tab as a thank you. Right, it's really fanning out, which is good. Not so much in the middle. So what we can do is just go in with a little bit more and just hope that it draws in. Now what I said earlier was obviously that what I think happens is that when we pour the warm resin in, it cools down, but it will heat up again because that's how resin cures. So that's not me saying, you know, the resin is cooling down for the rest of the process. It is just part of the process. Got some gaps in that one. I'm pretty sure that these gaps would fill on their own anyway, but I'm just going to cover it just in case. And again in this one, I might go in with some white in this one, you know. That sound. Hopefully it doesn't come out on the film, but it's quite loud. I go and have words afterwards. I say, "Oi, you, no." I was filming. It's one of those things you can't help. Right. So the good thing I think about this using the dyes instead is that I'm pretty sure we're a lot lower risk of blobbing. He hopes. And we've still got some really good colour. And these are a lot more light fast than alcohol inks. Right, I'm going to give it 10 minutes and we'll be back. What I've decided to do, I've got this cute little mould from Jadie's Art. She sent it to me a couple of months ago now. I'm just going to do like a dirty pour. I'm really not sure how it's going to turn out, but I'd rather not waste the resin. I haven't got anything else I can really use it in at hand. I might not have enough to fill it up, but I could always top it up on another day. It's always good to have something on the side for leftover resin to pour it into, so that we're not wasting it. I shouldn't have taken my paper clips off the bags first. I'll tell you what, I'll finish this off camera. That noise is bugging me. Right, I need to continue regardless of the noise. I don't know what they're sanding, but at this rate they're going to have no wood left. Right, so I need to continue because my resin is starting to get thick. So it's only been a couple of minutes since I filled the turtle up. So I'm just using my stick and I'm just drawing in our petals. You can just see how thick that's beginning to get. I'm just making sure that I don't go too deep so that I'm hitting the mould. Because we don't want to damage our moulds, because that, if we scratch it, that will be there forever. How should we go with this one? Let's go in again on the others. You could do this in lots of different ways. And then let's take it down a little bit. We'll give it a little swirl in the middle. And you could do tips and just draw them throughout into tips, but I'm going to leave that one as it is because I quite like the look of it. Well, this one hasn't really, hopefully as we draw in the design, it will push that colour together. So it's not as gappy. It stopped. I feel like I need to feel the silence now. Now for this one I'm going to come out. Doesn't matter if it goes over the side of the mould either. And then again, and get the swirl. Right, let's carefully move these two over so I can get to the other two. Hopefully my camera arm will allow me to come across. That has fanned out really nicely. Really nicely. It's all blended in. Couple of tiny gaps there, but they will go. Because the resin is getting thick, as we're drawing it through, we're at risk of drawing in air bubbles. So just keep an eye. And come back and pop those if you wish. I don't think I went deep enough with that line. Let's lock my focus. But time will tell. When we demold it, we will see. And again with the swirl in the middle. It's very blush, this one. And now on this one I think I'm going to come out on the, just on the tips. Just like that. You can just see how thick that is now becoming. It's a little bit something now, I don't know what that is. It somehow got into my resin. Pull it out. Here it goes. Right, last one. Thick, thick, thick. I see some bubbles around the edges. I can see them up there, but I'm not that fussed. It's almost like egg yolk in colour and consistency. So that is all 5 steps complete. I will see you for the exciting part and see what we got. See you soon. Right, we're back. I watched the video back through and luckily you couldn't hear the noise. So you probably wondered what noise I was actually going on about, but yeah. Right, so I've sped things up and I've cured these a lot quicker. Sadly, Mr. Turtle isn't yet ready to show, but I'll upload a video of him for those that are interested in seeing the results. I'll put a post in the community tab for that. But these are still a little bit soft, but most of that is because they're warm where I've sped up the curing. But they're okay for me to demold. Let's see what we got. That is really nice. The camera's not really doing it much justice. Try and get some more light. Is that better? Zoom back out. This was the really shallow one, I think. Or was that the first one that I just demolded? I can't remember now. think that's just too bright, isn't it? Let's come back over here. So you can get just as good results with the dyes. I forgot to mention as well that I did have to add the white to each colour. None of the colours are opaque. This one's very transparent, so I could have added some more. You can just see some of the pigment probably didn't shake up the dye enough. Try and do it in both lights. Last one. Wow. It's really soft and subtle. I'm trying to get the best light for it. There you go. Again guys, if you haven't hit that sub button, do that for me. Give the video a thumbs up as always. And drop me a hi in the comments. And I will see you for the next one. Keep an eye out in the community tab for the picture of the turtle. I'll upload that if I remember. If not, write in the comments and say, Dan, upload it to remind me. Right, stay safe. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now. He's out, but in the process, I was trying to rush it. I pulled poor turtle's head off. So I need to glue that back on once it's fully cured. There's a few bubbles, but what I'll do is I'll pop JD's I'll put the link to this mould. It really is a cool mould. I might do a full video on this. Try and get a galaxy turtle or something. But I'll pop her website. I think she ships worldwide. But it really is a cool mould when you don't pull their heads off. But again, I was being impatient. But it's always good to use leftover resin. Poor boy. Well, I'll see you for the next one.